Welcome to the Austrian Grand Prix here in Spielberg. It's race day and the cars are already on the grid as the drivers complete their final preparations ahead of lights out. Here's the grid for today's race. We'll be starting shortly.
How's it going, guys, and welcome back to the second round of the McLaren Points Challenge, where we'll be driving as a McLaren driver and try and gain as many points as possible and try and beat what they got this season, which was abysmal, basically. Again, with Jensen Button for this round, and for this round that we didn't do at Silverstone, we'll be using a setup, but I picked Monza because the other one is a bit dodgy. I'm going to be completely honest there with that set. So, in the last round we saw at Silverstone, didn't go too well. We just missed out on the points, but hopefully this round will be a bit easier, but it is harder as well, because Austria is basically a load of straights. So, it'll be a bit harder in this McLaren Honda, but we're going to give everything we've got. Starting in 16th on the grid, as the lights are building now, as we're about to start another round of this challenge, and away we go, and once again we get a bad start. Something I'm not particularly fond of this game is the lack of traction on the starts, but oh well, we'll go down the inside of both Saubers and up to 16th place, as we have our teammate Fernando Alonso ahead of us. So he's had a good start there from behind us. So this track is very demanding on fuel, so I had to be very careful with fuel as we're going to go down that inside of Alonso. And I don't know what's happened here with all these AI cars that just decide to slow up into turn 2 and we gain a lower position. So we're up to 13th place, so I'll take that. Only 3 spots off where I need to be, which is pretty promising, but as you can see, the cars in front have just drifted off from us. Obviously it is a McLaren Honda and the power is just dismal in this car, so I had to put a lot of wing down on this setup that I'm running. It's a Monza one, so I think it's 1-1 wings. As you can see, Hulkenberg down the inside just decides to give us a bit of a push there, cheeky one, and he moves up to 13th place, so we drop to 14th with Pastor Maldonado behind in that Lotus with the Mercedes engine. So we may be struggling to keep Pastor behind us for some time, but we're going to come to the end of that, just go a bit wide there with that dirty air from Hulkenberg pushing us out a bit. But we take a nice exit on that last corner and stay in that slipstream of Nico Hulkenberg. As you can see, we're only 3 tenths behind, but Pastor's only half a second behind, so we just got to be careful here as we take turn 1 very nicely, and just kept it on the limits there with the track. But you can see, even in slipstream, Hulkenberg is slowly pulling away from us, even though we are in standard. But as you can see, I don't know why, but the AI seemed to be a bit slow into this braking zone. And as you can see, nearly took a position there from Hulkenberg, nearly hitting there with the backspin of the tyres, but we get away with it, and that gives Pastor Maldonado the move up to 14th, and we drop to 15th. As you can see, we're already half a lap down on fuel already, and that I was keeping aware of during this race, so we need to see how we do on there. But we're going to now move on to lap 4, where this was quite an interesting moment, this was, and a bizarre one, as you will see momentarily. As you can see, yellow flags will pop up any minute now. And I was thinking, what's going on here? Then I see on the map there are 2 dots on the side, and I wonder who it was, and there is a manner of Will Stevens and Sebastian Vettel, so I don't know what's happened there, but we'll take that position from Vettel and we move up to 14th. Bit of a bizarre one that, but we'll take it anyway. But we're going on to lap 5 now. We're still behind Maldonado as Hulkenberg has drifted off from us from this little pack we're in, but the start a form of a train up ahead, so we're going to see how we do here as we get into the DRS with Pastor Maldonado's Lotus. And again, we just brake a bit early, just take a bit more entry speed and get a good exit, and we do get that, and we got a nice run here on Maldonado as we go into lean to tactically save fuel here and see if lean makes any difference staying in the slipstream of the Lotus car. But we just go a bit too deep into that corner and we lose a bit of time, but luckily we still get the DRS and we are still somewhat in the 1 second gap, as the gap between us and Alonso behind is around about 3 seconds, so I don't need to worry about Fernando at this stage. But you never know, as we are slowly dropping the fuel down as well to nearly about a tenth of a lap nearly. But we're going to move on to lap 7, and people have already started making some pit stops here, and coming out is the race leader Lewis Hamilton, who comes out just behind us. So we're already a pit stop behind Lewis Hamilton, so I don't think we're going to win this one, guys. So I don't think we're going to. If everyone did think we could win this, then I feel that you're a bit weird on there. But as you can see, 12th place now, as we get a bit of oversteer on the exit there, and even with this with DRS, you can see Hamilton's just leading towards us very slowly, and our tyres are starting to get a bit wary on the rears But the fronts are fine, so I need to think to try and save some degradation on the rear tyres, but will be a bit difficult. As you can see, Hamilton's just getting ever closer on us. So it's a bit of a scary moment this is, to have a Mercedes behind you, because these AI do like to make some dive bomb moves at stages. So I had to think very carefully, just go a bit wide there, opening the door for Hamilton, but he decided to back out of it. And it's right on the back of us. He's going to go round the outside of us on before the penultimate corner and moves up to 12th place. So Hamilton's on his way now, but Rosberg is in the pit lane, I believe. So we'll be interested to see if we held Hamilton enough for Rosberg to gain a position on him and take the race lead, as Rosberg is just about to come out the pits now. So it's very close between the two Mercedes drivers, and Hamilton just hits Rosberg out of the pits, but we'll have to see if Rosberg does overtake Hamilton, catch up and take the win, but we'll have to wait and see to the end. Moving on to lap 8, and I decided to pit. It was a late call, this one, because I saw Maldonado there losing a bit of speed, so I decided to make a late call. Bit of a weird entry to the pit lane, I will admit, I do apologise, but it was that late I had to decide to come in now. Would it bite me in the backside? We'll have to wait and see. But hopefully the McLaren guys can do something good and give me a good pit stop here as they go in. Put some the prime tyre on, and it's a 2.3, so that's very good from my boys in McLaren to get Jensen out of the way there. On there, so bit of a weird glitch there. I don't know what happened there. Frame rate just froze the game, but hopefully I can get that fixed for the next episode. But we come out in 13th place, which is alright, and Alonso pitted as well, so we did a double stack there, but I think the gap was too big for us to worry, so I think it was a nice double clean stop there from the McLaren boys. But Max Verstappen there is in 12th place. He's around about 5 seconds up the road, so I think we've got a bit of work to do to catch up to him. But I know that the likes of Sainz and Massa and Perez will be pitting soon. As speaking of the devil, we've got a couple of people in the pits. Maldonado, as we've jumped in by quite a margin there, as you can see, by around about 2 to 3 seconds. So at least I jumped one car out from the pit stop phase, which is good. And Carlos Sainz, we gained a bit of time on him as well. So pitting early, a lap early, 2 to 3 laps early, was actually quite a good decision. But the problem with that is our tyres will be a bit worse than the likes of Sainz and Maldonado. So we just need to be very careful to preserve these tyres as much as possible. But I would really want to get Sainz there, because that could potentially give us a potential 10th place in the race, as the likes of Massa and Perez still need to pit after with only 9 laps to go here in Austria. So losing a bit of time there to Sainz, but in this latter part of the second sector we are very quick, because the setup for some reason is nice on the McLaren Honda. Obviously this is a set from the Mercedes that I'm using from time trial, so we'll see how it goes. We're right on the back now with Sainz on the lap 12, and you can see just trying to be a bit cheeky there with the traction there, a bit throttle, but it didn't work out for me. But we're still in the area of Sainz there, around about the second gap. As we come on to the next lap, and as you can see we gained some time back on him, and up on our best sector 2 time, which is very good for us. As you can see now, we're slowly gaining on Sainz. We're still in that DRS, and there's a couple of 2 to 3 cars up ahead of this battle we're in. So we never know if we can get past Sainz as quickly as possible. We can try and gain even more positions, as we've got someone in the pit lane there coming out, and I believe that is Sergio Perez. So now Sainz is now in 10th position, so this is for the points, and it would be nice to get our first points after a dismal round at Silverstone for that one. And if you've got a track recommendation for the next round, then post it in the comments and I'll consider it for the next race, as we're going to try and go down the inside of Sainz now into turn 2, giving as much space as possible, and we get it done. But Sainz is coming back with a better traction than us out of that corner, and it's now a drag race, Honda with DRS versus Toro Rosso with Renault powered engine, and we just ahead of Sainz there, but we're still side by side with Sainz, as we're still going side by side. I don't know how the hell we're still doing this, as we're coming up to the next corner. We're going to try and hook it round the outside if we can, but Sainz has got the better line and we have to give up that position. But it was a good battle there between us and Carlos Sainz for that 10th place and the 1 point. But we're still in that slipstream of Sainz, but we've got a nice gap behind to pass the Maldonado. So we're not really concerned at this stage. We've only a couple of laps to go, but we need to stay with Sainz here, get a nice exit, which we do there, but we get a bit of a sideways moment there and onto the grass, and we get a warning for exceeding track limits, which is pretty fair if I'm honest. But that has just potentially cost us there, as Massa surprisingly pits as well with only 4 laps to go, which kind of got me scratching my head thinking, why has he done that? if he was in a good position up front. I think he was like 3rd at that point when I checked the race director at that point. So it kind of questioned me why he did that, as we got a couple of blue flags up here, but I don't know why on there. As again we lose the back end there, seeing signs of degradation on the tyre there. So I was a bit annoyed with that had to happen. But moving on to lap 16, as Massa is all over the back of us. He is on the super soft tyre, I must add. So I was thinking trying to hold on to 10th place is going to be a bit of a mountain to climb, as obviously Williams has that almighty Mercedes engine, and Williams are particularly quick round here. So I was feeling the pressure here, and as that's just showed right there, we just lost it again, the back end, and Massa just squeezed his way through and up into the 10th place. So I think it was game over there, but I wasn't giving any hope, not giving any chance of hope of getting points. But as you can see, we've got Carlos Sainz holding up Felipe Massa there, so that gives me a bit of a chance here to try and get that point. But the only problem we have now is we've got a high-flying Mexican behind of Sergio Perez, who is also on the super soft tyre, and my fuel light is flashing as well. All's happening in this last lap here in the Austrian Grand Prix. And you can see Perez is all over the back of us now in that Mercedes power. He's going down the inside to try and get 11th place, but we give the position to him. But we're going to try and go on the outside. Our hands are in the air for some bizarre reason. I don't know why we didn't make any contact. I can let you know. But are we going to hold off Perez? We have to wait and see, as we're going to try and hold the outside now for turn 2. But Perez is going down the inside of us, and we give him the room. But so we're going to try and do a switch back here. Maybe a bit difficult on worn tyres, but we have got a good traction there out the exit. But you can see Perez has just got that Mercedes powered engine and just goes completely away from us, and we are in 12th place. Wasn't really focusing on fuel, so I had no idea when we were going to run out. But we can see Nico Rosberg did beat Lewis Hamilton to the line and wins the Austrian Grand Prix in this race. But are we going to hold past Maldonado? We have to wait and see. But as you can see now, Sergio Perez has just gone from us completely. But we've got Maldonado behind us. He's only 1.1 seconds. Can we hold him off? And we won't be doing like that, because we just lost it completely out of that corner. So he gives a couple of attempts to Maldonado to catch up to him. But we come into the penultimate corner, and we will now, sadly, be jugging now with fuel as we run out. We take a bit of a curb there, and we lose the back end, doing a bit of camber drifting there. We managed to hold it, but Maldonado will get past. And unfortunately, we lose out on 12th place on the last corner. Bit unfortunate there for us, but we have to take it, sadly, as Jenson Button there, again, for the second race in a row, hasn't delivered the goods to us. And next time, we'll be driving as Fernando Alonso. So let us know in the comments below what track you want me to do next. But until next time, guys, have a great day. Hit the like button. I shall see you very soon for another video. Take care, guys, and see you later.